I never thought I would be making this very video that you're seeing, but here we are. Well over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and well over 1,000 days on NoFap. And 3 months ago, this channel did not exist. And honest to God, only a couple of years back, I did not exist. Back then, I was at rock bottom. I was addicted, I was lost, and I was ashamed of myself. And today, everything is different. So, today, I wanted to share my story with you. And not just about NoFap, but how I was able to completely turn my life around. And I had this thought while walking in the park, so I figured I'd just share it with you. And I'm doing this for one reason and one reason only, and that is to build a genuine connection here. Because I don't want to just make how-to, streaks, and tips and tricks videos for you guys. I want you to actually know who I am, where I came from, and where I am today. Because the chances are, if you're a young man watching this very video, you are probably going through the same struggles I went through. And I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone, and you can actually climb out and build a life that you want. Because I am living proof of it. I was born in a small village, in a small country of Montenegro. And I was always that awkward kid, the shy kid. The one who couldn't even hold a conversation with his parents, let alone strangers or, God forbid, girls. I was that kid. I was also the scrawniest, skinniest kid in the group. And of course, you know what that meant. I got bullied, and I got bullied pretty hard. My friends would always call me scrawny, and I got made fun of for having a big head. I know, sounds silly. But when you're a kid and you have no sense of self-worth and you keep hearing this thing over and over again, you start believing it, and it really messes up with your head. But luckily, or unluckily for me, I found an escape. My escape was video games. And around the age of 10, I started playing League of Legends. And man, I was hooked. Behind that screen, there was no anxiety, there were no bullies. I wasn't the big head, skinny kid. It was just me and the pixels. And it became my shield. But it quickly became my life, because I would wake up, I would go to school, I would think about playing League of Legends, and then I would come back home and play League of Legends until I went to bed. And you already know what that meant. Weekends were all day gaming marathons. And I wasn't just playing League of Legends all day, because when I wasn't playing, I was watching YouTube about it. And if I wasn't watching YouTube about it or playing it, I was thinking about it. I was completely consumed by it. And yeah, it was pretty bad. But at least with video games, I had some sense of belonging. Like, I played League of Legends with my friends, with my brother, and it gave me a sense of being a part of something. And that was the part that I craved. But then, at the age of 12, I discovered something far darker than video games. And I remember this moment still vividly. We were sitting in math class, and a buddy of mine leans over all excited and says, "Bro, I gotta show you this." And he pulls up his phone, and there it was, an adult website. At first, I didn't think much of it. In fact, I thought it was weird. But I was intrigued. So next time I found myself all alone in my room while there was nobody watching, I looked it up. And that was it. That was the first time that I did the act. I didn't even know my body could do that. But once it happened, I was completely hooked on that instant high that it gave me. At first, I was only doing it once a month. Then it became once a week. Then it became a couple of times a week. And before I knew it, I was doing it every single day. Multiple times a day. Now, the thing is, with video games, at least I was a part of a community. I was a gamer. But with this, I was completely alone, hiding in the shadows and living with all that guilt, with all the shame, and of course, the zero confidence that it comes with. And the worst part was everyone around me acted like it was normal. Classmates, cousins, all friends. Everybody joked around about it and everybody talked about it like it was normal. So I thought to myself, well, if everyone does it and everyone thinks it's normal, then it's normal, right? How silly. Of course not. But deep down, I knew that I had a problem and I knew that I wanted to get rid of it. So by the time I was 16, I knew I had to quit. So I tried quitting and I would fail the very next day. I would make it past day 1 and I would relapse because the urges were just too much for me to handle. Sometimes I would make it a week and I would relapse, and if I was lucky I would make it to day 30 and then I would relapse. The urges were just too much for me to handle at the time, because any time that I felt stressed, I felt bored, I felt any kind of negative emotion, anxiety, I would go straight back to that disgusting habit of mine. That was my way of coping. And years have passed like this. Years. Relapse after relapse. Stuck in an endless loop. And then came the night that completely changed my whole life trajectory. It is December 31st. And there was a girl that I've been texting for a couple of months now. And I finally gathered enough courage and confidence to ask her out. We've been chatting for months now and I knew that this girl liked me too. She was absolutely beautiful and I was all over her. So I asked her out. We go out to walk near the sea. The stars were beautiful. It was a clear sky. It wasn't too cold. It was perfect. We went walking, we talked, we chatted, we were having fun, we smiled, we were laughing, we connected. Then we sat down on a bench and I look her in the eyes and I can tell she wants me to make a move. Her eyes were begging me to make a move. So guess what I did? I did absolutely nothing. Not a single thing. I froze. I was too scared. I was too anxious. And I had no confidence. I gave her an awkward hug and I said goodbye. And on the ride back home in the bus, my face was burning red with shame. Not just because I disappointed myself, but I disappointed her too. And of course, things were never the same between us two, ever after. But that night, I told myself, enough is enough. I cannot keep living like this. I cannot keep being this loser, low-life version of myself that can't even kiss a girl when she's literally begging him to. So that moment was the turning point for me. I realized no one was coming to save me. Nobody is gonna build the confidence that I want. Nobody's gonna build the body that I wanted. Nobody's gonna get me a girlfriend. It was all on me. It was all on me to build the life that I wanted. And this realization gave me a weird sense of freedom, because for the first time ever, I felt in control. And that's when things actually started to change. Hi. So relapses became less frequent. I got actually serious in the gym. I started reading, I started meditating, I started doing all the good habits. I was learning how to talk to strangers. I started approaching girls. And slowly but surely, I built some momentum. Now, I was not perfect by any means, but I would go 90 days and then I would relapse. I would make it to 120 days and then I would relapse. But it no longer had the same grip on me. I wasn't a slave to my bad habits and my addictions anymore. I completely quit video games and League of Legends, and I was no longer even counting days on NoFap. I just made sure to make every single day count. Every single day. That was my only focus. And little by little, the results started showing, inevitably. I could finally talk to strangers. I built a body I was proud of. I had my first ever girlfriend. And for the first time, I actually felt like I was in control. I felt like I was actually becoming the man that I wanted to be. Now, I'm not gonna give you every single detail in today's video, but fast forward to today and I've gotten the confidence that I always dreamed of. I built the discipline that I thought people were born with. I thought discipline was reserved only for the monks and weird people that were born gifted. I live on my own terms, and the best part is I have complete control of myself. Those old habits of mine, the porn, the addictions, video games, the ones that used to run my life, they don't even cross my mind anymore. None of these things are a part of me anymore. I'm simply better than that. I built a body that I thought was literally impossible. I've got the confidence, and honestly, sometimes I can't even believe that I am here. Like the fact that I am just walking around this park and I'm talking to a camera and sharing my story with you guys, I cannot explain how unbelievable that sounds when I look at it. Because if I told my younger self that I would be doing this, he would probably have a panic attack and shit his pants. But here we are. Things can change. And that's the whole point of me sharing my story. Because if a skinny, insecure kid from a tiny, tiny village in Montenegro who grew up broke, bullied, addicted, can flip his life completely around, then so can you. Look, maybe you don't want to build a Greek body that I have. Maybe you don't care about moving across the world or starting your own business. And that's fine. But whatever your version of a better life looks like, it's possible. You just have to put in the time, the effort, and cut out all the garbage. Cut out all the garbage habits that are dragging you down. Because here's one harsh truth. Time passes either way. You can spend your time wasting it in front of a screen, numbing yourself with cheap dopamine, or you can actually spend it building yourself up. Reading, training, meditating, putting yourself out there, even when you're uncomfortable. These are the things that build you. And the fact is, days are gonna pass no matter what. The only question is, how do you want to look back at your days? Do you want to be full of pride, knowing you did all that? Or do you want to look back with regret? Now, before I wrap this video up, I wanted to say a huge thank you. We have already passed well over 1,000 subscribers in just 3 months. 3 months! And that completely blows my mind, and I cannot take it for granted. I appreciate every single one of you guys who's been here watching the videos, commenting, and building this community that we have. Because this is not just a channel, this is a brotherhood. And I want us to keep making it stronger. So let me know in the comments where you currently are. What are you working on? And what are you struggling with? Let's help each other out. Let's help each other grow. That's what this is all about. And if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button right now. Join the brotherhood. And let's keep leveling up together. One disciplined man at a time.